So what kind of talking points have you been having on the stand and in your sessions?
Well, look, to be honest, we've only just started, but there is a steady flow of people already coming through, which is amazing. From our perspective, we're looking at driving one platform that moves the world's data. Okay, so making data as simple as electricity. And already we're having people coming through that are talking about, well, how do I get to my data? My data is in lots and lots of siloed sources. How do we make sure that we've got the right governance and the right quality? And how do we get that into one single source so that then we can access it so that we can obviously do everything that we need to do in terms of analytics, in terms of AI, in terms of being able to make better business decisions across the company. So I think most of the people that we've had so far are just wanting to learn, which is absolutely brilliant because we want to teach. And so from our perspective, just being able to have those conversations about, how is your business structured? How do you get the most value out of the data that you've got? How do you get it into, as I say, this centralized function so that you can really use it and actually get value from your data? Are probably most of the conversations that we're going to have today.
Brilliant. So what would you say is then the key challenge that Fivetran is helping to address?
Yeah, so a great question. I think the key challenge is really very much like I've just kind of said, right? Multiple sources, disparate businesses, data everywhere, structured, unstructured. Actually, how do we get to that data? So organizations are just growing and growing and growing every year. The amount of data is growing every year. And so to be able to, as I say, get that, move it, transform it, put it into one central location where everybody can access it, is just something that we're really passionate about. And so the real challenge is that. How do we get data into a place where everybody can use it for the good of the organizations that we serve? I think that's probably the main challenge that we're looking to address.
Amazing. And we've talked a little bit about AI infrastructure there. Obviously, it's changing so fast. AI has something new every week, it seems. Where do you think we're going to be in the next 5 to 10 years?
I'll tell you what, if I could predict the future, that would be amazing. But what I will say is that I read a stat today that basically said, the market spend is about 16.2 billion in the UKI. That's going to go over the next 5 years, I think it was, or 10 years to over $1 trillion. AI is not going away. What I would say is you're hearing about agents in the marketplace. You're hearing about how transformative it's going to be for organizations. I think AI in principle is going to be the next generation of how business access their consumers. Consumers will be talking to agents as opposed to necessarily talking to people. And on some hands, that's actually quite a threatening thing, right? And I think we need to be really conscious about how we make sure that we're doing things in an ethical way. But from a sci-fi perspective, I worry about how my kids are going to be using AI because they're already cleverer than I am with ChatGPT. So who knows what's going to go on. But I think it's just going to change the way that people engage, people collaborate. The way that organizations sell is going to change. It is going to become more automated. But what I hope is that means that as individuals, we also become more sophisticated. And therefore we can do the more challenging, strategic, interesting pieces of things that we do at our work every day. But we're going to have to learn how to coexist. And so, do I think that there's going to be rocket ships going to Mars with us all on it that are powered by AI? At some point. But as of today, I wouldn't like to predict exactly where this is going to go because it's moving so fast.
For the latest tech insights, visit em360tech.com.